Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Frieren Season 1, Episode 22. So, quick order of business, which I think I'm fine at this point, but because I've recorded a whole other episode of a show before this, but right when I got out of the shower, which was right before I recorded the last episode, I had a really bad bloody nose. I'm just letting you guys know if I sound a little stuffed up. I don't think I'm really too stuffed up anymore, or if you see me, suddenly grab toilet paper or whatever, because I have a roll right here just in case it acts up again. So, just letting you guys know that that's a thing. Probably one of the worst bloody noses I've had in a while. I used to get them a lot as a kid, and now I only get them like a couple times a year, if that even. And this one was pretty bad. It was like I went to go switch out, like I had like the covering my nose with the toilet paper. I went to go switch it out, and like while I was switching it out, just poured out a little bit. Like not like insane, but more than normal, right? Like normally you can switch the toilet paper and be perfectly fine, but it actually like came out and it was pretty crazy. But I'm all good now, so. Last episode, we had kind of the finale to the first test, where 6 of our parties finished, 18 people. Pretty much all the named people we had through this arc ended up getting a spot in the next round. We had Frieren bust the barrier, and they considered her the last great mage, so I don't really know what classifies someone as a great mage, right? Like, can you learn to be a great mage, or do you have to be of like a certain strength level, or I don't know. But that was a really awesome moment, that one Genau guy or whatever just doubting it completely, being like, no, it's fine, she can't break it, and then she does. I always love when anime characters doubt what another anime character can do, and then they just prove them wrong immediately. So fun. But yeah, we're probably going to be moving on to the next round, at least getting the rules for it, and maybe seeing the very beginning of it. So I'm excited. Let's jump into this, shall we? We're going to start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Yes, it is. Oh, we're getting full names. I have a lot of these. The 2 parties we didn't see anything about are the ones I didn't have names for. And I was not quick enough to get the first group, so I figured I'll just go back and get both those groups after. Oh, man. What a, crazy night. I was trying to, I probably shouldn't have done this, but I was trying to get things done while I had the bloody nose, too, so I was, holding the toilet paper up to my nose while, moving around and trying to, go get some wet wipes because some of it got on the floor, so I had to clean it up. And so I was going around doing that. While I was holding it, I also put the ice in my coffee and everything. I was I don't want to sit here and wait for it to stop, so I was trying to be productive while it was happening. I almost chose not to record tonight. I'm glad it stopped, and I'm glad I did record, though, because I wanted to watch some stuff tonight. Just to swallow in. I know what you're doing here, buddy. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Getting this. Oh, did they come back for a little bit? Let me in. Taking so long to answer your damn door. Is it Fern? Yeah. They must have a little break in between tests. Oh no, I didn't even realize the time of day. Oh, Stark. Oh my god. She really is kind of like a mom. Caught in the crossfire. I love you, Frieren. Fern's always getting upset. Hmm. Does he work here? It's a very modest job for someone so willing to kill. If this is his job. Was that his payment? No. Is it his actual grandma? So maybe it wasn't payment, maybe it was just he did it on the house. Hmm. Glad we're getting to see these guys' personality before we go into like some fight to the death round and we feel bad for him now. They're mine. Yeah, I mean... Hmm... Wife, huh? Oh, before she passed. Oh, he decided to go. Alright. Nice that they're trying to stay in touch. I like this. We might not be starting the test at all. My theory might have been wrong. But I am very much okay with this. No. Ugh, cats are so sassy. Ah, did she know the whole time, or? I mean, she did say he was like conniving or whatever. All these people can just tell that she's cold-blooded as hell. Hmm. Huh. Interesting. Oh. She learned his spell? Or did she already know it? Huh. Is she trying to empathize with him? Yeah, she wants to learn his ability. Oh shit. Yeah, I don't. You just told me how you're gonna copy my ability. I'm not gonna give you the answer. So she's starting to empathize with him a little bit, maybe? Just off that. What an interesting personality to be a killer, but to have to empathize with people to use their magic. Are we gonna find our group here? Oh, yep, they're here. Are they gonna sit together? Oh, how nice. They don't want to impede. Oh, look at that. I've never had... Oh my god! Frieren! They're all eating meals and she's just eating dessert. That is so much meat. Mmm. Oh. An heirloom knife. That's a crazy knife. Holy shit. Shit, I missed his name. I hope it's not relevant. Wouldn't it be crazy if this was, like... when Denkin was here, too? With his wife? That'd be way too coincidental, I feel like, though. Ah. Just a pile of meat. How do you even order that dish? I want a plate of meat. He's giving Hemel a run for his money. With the ego. Sorry for the squeaky chair. Do you think he's still here? Like, how long ago was that? I guess they were around the same age. He'd be pretty damn old if he was still here. Or has your taste changed? Ah, it's been improved. Cool. Maybe that's what it just is. It's like a plate of pancakes. I can't get over that pile of meat. No, he's like a grandfather. Yeah. Eat your veggies. He went out to eat with her even though she said what she said. Interesting. Oh no! What? The state of nothingness. Oh. He's training? It was an interesting just cutaway. Hmm. What? Just some guy that just comes and talks to him, not even someone training him or something. That's funny. Oh no, she's angry again. What happened this time? What did you do? Of course she's overslept. Bagatsu. No. We need... I'm too scared. I miss Sign. We need him back. Oh my god. Buy me some food right now. Starting to feel like a manipulation, Fern. Feels like you're doing it just so they buy you stuff. Werble. Weirbo. Oh. Are they trying to recruit someone? They're looking for a warrior? Are they gonna find Stark? Hmm. It's a nice outfit. Ah. Home from the capital? Oh. So her whole family's here. Interesting, okay. She didn't have to travel to come do this exam. But they're not fighting. Well, I spoke too soon. That bread on the table looked moldy. Now this bread looks good. And I'm sure that bread on the table's fine. It's just an interesting choice of drawing for that, like, establishing shot. Oh, I guess it's like a different kind of bread, I suppose. It looks like a darker bread with like a powdering on it. So from far away, it looked like bad. Nedoshio. All these people always run into each. I guess it's probably not that huge of a town, and there's 18 people to run into, so I guess 12 people if you subtract the 2 teams we never really met yet. I like how they're trailing behind, like they don't really want them to be with them. Like they're not walking like in line. It almost just feels like they're following them. Oh. Yep, he's looking for warriors. Stark. Ah. Just no hesitation. No, she was able to tell. Ah. Alright. She did have a big hand in it. Hey, Kane might even be dead, right? When that bird attacked. Want to leave a legacy. Interesting philosophy, but I don't fully agree. No. Frieren. Etching people into their memories. Oh, those sweets helped, or snacks. No, no! Her face. Three tests, okay. Birdie! Oh. Are they being summoned for it? Jeez, just tosses it in. Sense, yeah. Is she a tough proctor? Wow. Okay, she's a Kakashi. Oh, he was one of the ones from the other party, right? They stuck together. Okay. Oh my god! Leave that bird alone! Jesus. Oh my god. A pacifist. but a dreadful test. Alright. I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna be. I can't think of like a test that'll pit everyone against each other but be pacifist. The only thing I can think of it is if they still have to fight, but maybe no killing is allowed. Like, maybe it'll be something like, you guys remember the Hunter x Hunter test, where it was like, the people who lost moved up the bracket, and the people who won, like, got out, but they weren't allowed to kill the other person in the fight. They just had to get them to give up. Maybe it's something like that. So they have to, like, defeat the people but not kill them, and if you kill them, you're disqualified. That was, like, the first thing I could think of that could still have, like, conflict, but... I mean, I guess going after the bird, like, the first test could be considered a pacifist test if you made a rule that you couldn't fight each other. Right? Like... once you got the bird in the cage, the fight could have been over and you won, kind of thing. You move on to the next test. And there's no stealing from other people. There's just, you have to, like, catch one naturally. You could consider that, like, a pacifist test. But I don't know what this one could be. I'm really curious what they go with. That is it, guys, for episode 22. Man, we're starting to get close to the end of this one here. I'm gonna have to start thinking about what's gonna replace this one. But yeah. So we had many Fern upset moments this episode, and we saw that without Sign here to mediate, they basically just have to buy her things to make her happy, it seems like. I hope she's not just manipulating her friends into getting things, right? Like, that's not the nicest personality trait, is like, oh, I'm gonna get upset at everything so that way they're always buying me things, you know? Like, I'm not a fan of that personality trait, but I don't think, like, 2 times makes a pattern, so I don't think it's something where she does it on purpose in order to... I think she just easily gets upset, you know? She lives a very rule-filled, structured life, and she's surrounded by people that don't have as much structure as she has, right? Like, she wakes up at certain times, she gets her errands done in the morning, and when other people don't do that, it frustrates her, you know? So, I get it. But yeah, so that was, like, some funny little bits. I really liked going around and seeing what, like, some of the other people are doing. Like, we had Werble going and looking for warriors in order to go fight something for the Magic Association, and didn't show any sense of, like, malevolent intent or anything like that. That was pretty cool. I like that Fern was able to, like, clearly identify and was like, he looks like a completely different person, and he was very, like, much more cheery and stuff. It is, like they said, like, he just turned it off, you know? And now he's just, like, a cheery, happy guy. And that's cool. It endears me to the character even more. I already was kind of endeared to the character by the end of his fight and everything, but that makes me like him even more. Richter, who I really didn't like, he was just like, let's just kill these kids, you know? Like, sure, they're in a test, and I understand killing is probably going to be a part of it, but when there's another way, I like Dinkin kind of controlling him and being like, we don't have to kill these kids, like, let's, you know, try something else first. So I didn't get a really good vibe from Richter. I didn't really care for him until here we see him just working in a little shop, like, very quaint beginnings, it seems like. He's not, like, for as stuck up as he sounded, he's not some, like, rich noble that doesn't have to do any work or anything. It seems like he puts in the work and stuff working in this little shop. So, I mean, I kind of respect him a little more, and whenever I see people doing nice things for old people, I genuinely start to like them a little more. So, and he ultimately didn't end up killing anyone, so yes, he talked about it. It frustrated me a little bit, but since he didn't actually do it, I can't hold too much of a grudge. I think I'm swayed more towards liking him a little more. So, Ubel, we learned a little bit more about her. She can copy people's magic, or I mean, really anyone can learn these spells, right? It's not really like it's not something that you're born with, right? Like it's not like My Hero Academia where you're born with a certain magic spell that you can use, and she's like all for one being able to copy that or like steal them or whatever, right? It's nothing like that. She's just they all have different spells that they use just for the fun of the show and the creativity. If they were all just using Zoltrack, it wouldn't be as entertaining. Um, but since that's basic magic, they all probably know how to do that, though. But she's kind of, in a way, she's going around collecting spells like Frieren, but in order for her to learn the spells, she needs to be able to feel. Like, I mean, I guess they already gave us the word. She needs to be able to empathize with them, right? So, by empathizing with Werble during that moment during the fight, she now learned his ability, and now she's hanging around land a lot trying to learn his. So, I wonder if we will see her, like, by the time the second test comes. It seems like it's about to start, but, will she have managed to empathize with him, even though he's trying his best not to open up to her, but he's still allowing her to be around him, right? Like they went out to eat and everything, so maybe that's enough for her to empathize with him, and maybe during the second test we'll see her use that ability as well, being able to make a clone. So we'll see. I did feel like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I'd have to go back in the episode, and I don't know if I could find it. But when Ubel was under the spell, it felt more refined, I felt like. Excuse me, I don't know if you guys heard that. It's like a deep, it wasn't really a burp, but yeah, like, I feel like Werbels were like perfect circles around her, right? Whereas when we see it around land, it feels more. Now, maybe it's because, like, I don't know. Yeah, see, looking at it again, I still feel that way. It feels more, like, wobbly and shaky. Like, it feels like she hasn't mastered it yet, and I think that's really cool. I like how it's not that, like, she empathized with Werble and she learned the spell, but she still hasn't perfected it and everything. So it's kind of like janky and not as put together, and it seems like it still had the same effect, but maybe someone who's strong enough could break out of it. Maybe even Land could break out of it if he really wanted to. Whereas if Werble did it, he wouldn't be able to because Werble's mastered it versus Ubel who just learned it. So there's a possibility that even if she gets the clone ability, it might not be a perfect clone yet, like Land is able to do. I just like that little detail. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just because he has like a longer body. Like she was kind of like kneeling down when he did it, so it was like easier to encapsulate her body in a perfect circle. Whereas he's standing up, so it's like going long way down his torso, so it's more of an oval. But it's still like kind of wavy, you know. It's not like a perfect oval even. So I don't know. I just like that theory of mine. If it's true, I don't know, but yeah, definitely an interesting ability. I wonder if she'll try to. I mean, I guess empathizing to learn the ability won't really work with Fern if she's just using basic magic, right? So, I wonder if like Fern goes up against Ubel, if Ubel won't hold back because she's like, I already know your abilities, right? Like, there's nothing I can empathize with you and learn, so I'm just gonna kill you. And maybe we see her unleash rather than trying to empathize and learn new spells. So, but we had some flashbacks to Himmel and him talking about living is to be remembered and stuff like that, which I don't fully agree on. I've never had that whole like I want to leave a legacy, I want people to remember me kind of thing. It's you know, it's not really what I think about. It's not my idea of living, but I understand that there are people that do feel that way, so I respect his opinion, but I definitely don't think that's like the essence of living in any way, right? Like I don't really care if I mean I don't know. I guess my view of like an afterlife and stuff like that is you're just gone. So like when I'm dead and gone, I don't really care if people remember me because I'm gone, you know? So I mean that's kind of the way I see it. But um But yeah, so I guess lastly, really, that I have is we have Sense being a tough proctor, which is interesting because I felt like she was chastising Ganao. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not, but for being tough and everything. Yet, was it the past like 4 tests she's done? Not a single person has passed. I think they said. So yeah, I wonder. I feel like, I mean, we got to continue the story and to get to the north. I mean, unless we just end up hiring a first class, like, I mean, they could spin it in a way that our characters don't pass this, and then we don't go to the north, right? But I wonder, like, will our characters pass this? Will both of them? Will Frieren or Fern, like, not make it, and only one of them will get it? But either way, somehow we have to, I imagine, get past this. I wonder if we're gonna end the show with them getting their first class certificates. I mean, there's no way we're making it to heaven, right? Or whatever the land is, like end or whatever, um, before this season ends. I don't think, because we have what is that, 6 episodes left, and I mean, I think they're like probably not even halfway. The journey's supposed to take like 10 years, and it's only been like maybe a few years, like a year, maybe 2, since they left, I think. So, I mean, if it's, I mean, granted, they could do it a little faster, you never know, but yeah, it seems like we still have a long way to go. But I mean, that kind of makes sense. A lot of anime will set up like this long-term goal, right? And then sometimes the anime never even makes it to it because it doesn't get enough people watching to be able to fund another season or something like that. And sometimes the manga will keep going and the manga will finish, but the anime never will. So we'll see. This one was very popular though, so I feel like it will get more seasons. I hope it is one that we do end up getting there. I hope it's not like, I know One Piece will probably eventually get there, but One Piece is the prime example of setting something up in the beginning of a show and having it go a very long time before you see it. So, if ever. I don't even know. I stopped watching it a while ago, so, which is crazy to say this. I think in the 800s I stopped watching, which was a while ago for me. I think anyway. I actually have, like, it saved on my anime. Oh, I can't get to my anime list easily, but I have what episode I left off on there. But either way, yeah. So Tough Proctor, we'll see. I'm really curious with. I mean, we have so many distinguished characters. We're starting to learn about them and everything. It's crazy to think that every single one of them is just gonna be like. If this proctor is so tough, are almost all of them going to be disqualified? Or is it going to be one of those things where, like, kind of like the Hunter exam in Hunter x Hunter, sometimes barely anybody passes it, sometimes there's only a couple people, but the year that Gon and them took it, like 8 people or something like that made it through, which is like a pretty high number for how many people make it through typically. So maybe it'll be something like that where group is just more special than the rest. But I feel like a lot of people might get knocked out or whatnot. I mean, I've already said it, but I really wonder if both characters, Fern and Frieren, will succeed. I want them both to succeed because I like these characters and I want them to be successful and get their first class license and all that. But if it's that, I hope they didn't build up Sense for it to be like something that's not a big deal or something like that. But like I hate when they build up a character where it's like, oh, 4 tests and no one's passed, and now suddenly like 10 people pass this next one or something, and then it's like, oh well, you hyped it up for no reason. Like, I almost hope it's only like 1 person that passes or something. So, but we'll see. just so like Sense can kind of keep that reputation, and what we heard is like actually like a big deal. Or I'm sure if they do, they'll do it in a like if they do more than that, I'm sure they'll do it in a way that I'm like, okay. But I also wonder if people have a hard time like if she's a pacifist, maybe it's a test that like encourages violence, but maybe if you commit violence, you lose, right? And maybe that's going to be one of the things where people like Ubel are going to get disqualified very quickly because she so quickly will go to bloodshed to accomplish her goals, and maybe she'll just be like instantly out or something. I don't know. Anyway, I think that'll be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really like this one. I like the chill kind of like hanging around the town, learning about people. I didn't really talk about Denkin talking about his wife and everything, but that was a really good moment too. And going to like the same restaurant, and like the whole flashbacks about the food and it tasting better than it did before, and stuff like that is cool to see that they've improved on their recipes and pass them down, and everything. So yeah, thank you guys. Links in the description below if you want to see more. This was a Patreon show if you're watching on YouTube, which means you can get the rest of Frieren right now, and you can get whatever has replaced this show as a Patreon show on there. So check that out if you're interested. There's also early access for my other shows, so check that out if you're interested. Links should also be popping up on the screen, and I will see you guys in my future reactions. Bye-bye.